So, to start out with Nosework, I always start with a Rubbermaid bin. As you can see, there's a hole cut in the top of this one. The size of the hole isn't critical, but I like to have it big enough that they can actually stuff just the tip of their nose in there. I have, hey, stop. I have 2 Q-tips in this tin. They are wrapped in straws. You can see them. You can like that. There is 1 drop of essential oil on each Q-tip. And these ones are probably a few weeks old. I find Q-tips last somewhere around 6 weeks before I start making new ones. I usually make them new for every set of classes. I start my classes on a single Q-tip. I'm just using 2 today because they're a little bit older. And I keep them inside something in the bin just in case the dog knocks the lid off. I don't want them to eat these, okay? I'm using wintergreen. In the States, I think you probably want to use birch, but I would double check based on whichever organization you're kind of training towards. Bowie, stop. Also in this bin, just for session number 1, Bowie, are like 3 pieces of food, okay? Because when he first starts, he doesn't know to stick his nose down and sniff for the oil. So I use the food to draw his nose down onto the bin. What I'm looking for from this dog, and of course I'm using a dog who's been clicker trained, is for him to put his nose over the hole. I'm going to use a clicker because I find they learn faster this way. And I mean, he's not really doing a lot of sniffing at this point. He's actually trying to just break into the bin. So, yes, good. I'm using his breakfast. You could use any treats you want. If I was doing this away from home, I would use higher value treats. He is used to being trained for his breakfast. We do something every day. Yes. Sometimes I feed him on the lid of the box. Sometimes I throw the food. Sometimes I feed him from my hand. All I'm really looking for is that he's putting his nose over that hole. Right now he's just sniffing the food that's inside, which is why he keeps trying to open it. For a dog that hasn't been clicker trained to interact with objects, you won't have the same issue as I'm having right now. What you might get is them putting their feet on the box. That's really common. That's helpful, Bowie. All they have is a shot of your bum. So I just try not to click and reward with the feet on the box. Yes. I like throwing the food because it gives them a chance to reset and come back to the box. If all they do is stand over the box and sniff, eventually they're not going to learn the part about needing to approach the box and being ready to sniff. So that's why I mix up how I give the reinforcer. Yes. If you've ever seen a search, there you go, that I've done with Charlotte, my final indication is for her to put her nose as close to source as possible and hold it there. This starts shaping that response. Yes. So initially you're going to get what I call a drive-by. They might even just move their nose over the hole without sniffing. In session 1, I'm going to reward anything that has their nose close to the hole. Yes. I'm using my verbal marker yes as well, but it's the clicker that he's responding to. Did you knock them or did you get them? Basically what I'm teaching him today is I'm shaping him to check the boxes and to get his nose right over the hole. Now I'm telling you, he can probably smell the oil as he walks up to the box. But we humans always seem to insist that they need to actually put their nose on the box, so this is just shaping that behavior. Good. So I withheld the clip a little bit longer there, just because I'm playing with seeing if I can get a little bit of duration. I'm only doing that because of the amount of training I've already done with him in terms of clicker training, and he knows sort of what my expectations are. If you haven't done a ton of training with a dog, I wouldn't be withholding for duration, because you're going to start to get feet coming into play where they start kicking the boxes or stepping on the boxes, and you don't want to have that for competition. Good boy. So as I said, I'm doing this with his breakfast. I do a longer training session with my own dog, mostly because I know exactly when he's over it, which with this dog is basically never. In my classes, I don't have dogs do this piece for more than 5 minutes before giving them a break. Good. And just so you know, this is his first session today. I did a couple of minutes before I started the camera, but he has never been introduced to the box or to odor prior to this morning.